Good morning, students. Yesterday we discussed about equilibrium and condition of equilibrium. Okay. Today we will discuss about the common forces that we come across in mechanics. Actually, there are two types of forces. As you remember, earlier also I have told, there are two types of forces that we come across. One type of force which acts at a distance. For example, gravitational force. Everywhere on this planet Earth we come across gravitational force. Gravitational force is pervasive. Everywhere, every object is acted upon by gravitational force, and this gravitational force acts at a distance also. It acts at a distance without any physical contact. So such type of force which act at a distance, which can act at a distance, is called non-contact force. Another type of force is magnetic force. Magnet can pull the iron nails even at a distance. So magnetic force is also non-contact force. Similarly, the force that is exerted between the charges, the positive charges repel each other, the negative charges attract each other. So such type of forces are called as electric forces or electrostatic forces, and these electrostatic forces or electric forces are also acting at a distance. So we can call them as non-contact forces. So the forces which can act at a distance, we can call them as non-contact forces, and the forces which comes into play, the forces which come into play whenever the bodies are in actual physical contact, they are called as contact forces. So in this topic we are mainly focusing on contact forces. That is, common forces that we come across in mechanics are mainly contact forces. So let us bifurcate the type of forces. Forces, non-contact forces, these are the forces which can act at a certain distance, which can act at a distance even without physical contact. Without physical contact, even without actual contact. So such forces we list them as forces which are acting at a distance, non-contact forces. First one is gravitational force. Second one is magnetic force, and the third one is electric, or we call electrostatic forces. Force exerted by the earth on all the objects is called gravitational force. The forces that are exerted between the like poles of a magnet or unlike poles of a magnet, or the force exerted by the magnet on the magnetic materials like iron, that is called as magnetic force. And electric force or electrostatic force is the force exerted between the charged bodies. The force between positively charged and negatively charged bodies is attractive in nature. It is called attractive electrostatic force. The force between proton and electron, attractive force. Similarly, the force between proton and proton, force between two positively charged places, the force between two positively charged bodies is repulsive. So the like charges repel each other, unlike charges attract each other. Such type of forces are called as electrostatic forces. Okay. So in general, these together are grouped and they are called as electromagnetic forces. They are combined together in a one domain. grouped together is called electromagnetic force. You are going to learn that electricity and magnetism are inseparable. I think you have already learned in 10th standard. Cause of electricity is a magnetic effect and magnetism, and cause of magnetism is the moving charges. Moving charges are the cause of magnetism. Okay, these things you are going to learn again in 12th standard in detail. So we are not going to learn all these things in detail. So the common forces that actually come in contact are contact forces. The contact forces, the forces which come into play when the bodies such as solid or fluid, and the bodies such as solids and fluids, between solids and solids, between fluids and fluids, between solids and fluids, whenever such contact is there between the solids and solids, between the solids and fluids, and between the fluids and fluids, such type of contact forces are very much common in mechanics. The force which come into play when the bodies such as solids and fluids in actual physical contact. In actual physical contact, they are called as contact forces. So let us see one by one what are those contact forces. Let us take an example of a box on the surface of a table. This is a table. This is a table and this is a book, or you can say it is a box. Now the box is at rest. The surface, bottom surface of the box is in contact with the upper surface of the table. Now the book is at rest. The book is at rest because of equilibrium. So what are the forces that are acting here? One is the force due to its weight. If m is the mass of the book, then weight is always acting vertically downwards. And this weight is due to gravity. As we said, gravitational force is always pervasive. Weight is due to gravity. And there is an upward perpendicular force, exact upward perpendicular force, which balances this weight. And this is called normal reaction. This is called normal reaction force. So the force which is perpendicular to the object exerted by the surface in contact, the force which is perpendicular to the surface whenever the object is in contact with the surface is called as normal reaction, and this force is always perpendicular to the surface. So this is called a normal force or reaction force. It is a perpendicular component. When you try to move this object by applying a force, if you try to apply an external force, if an external force is applied, then for smaller amount of external force, the box or the book doesn't move easily. It requires little more amount of force. So you will come across an opposing force which is parallel to the surface. The opposing force which is parallel to the surface, which comes into play parallel to the surface, is called friction. So there are two types of contact forces here. One is normal reaction. Normal reaction force, which is perpendicular component, of contact force, which always perpendicular to the surface. Perpendicular to the surface in contact. And the second one is parallel component force, that is friction. Friction is parallel component of, see here, this is parallel to the surface and reaction is perpendicular to the surface. The parallel component of contact force. The parallel component of contact force which opposes the motion of surfaces, which opposes the motion of surfaces in contact. So I have listed two here. One is normal reaction force, which is always balancing the weight, and another frictional force which comes into play whenever we are trying to move the object. So the frictional force is parallel component of the contact force which opposes the motion. So we will learn about this friction later in detail. Okay. This is when a solid is in contact with another solid surface. So like that, you will come across number of forces whenever the rigid bodies are in motion with respect to other rigid bodies in contact. Okay. Whenever you will find the motion of a wheel connected with a chain and that wheel connected with a pedal, and you see whenever there is a motion of wheel connected with that chain, there is a lot of many devices which are in contact. So many rods and wheels and the lead spears, steel balls, many are in actual physical contact. So they are all studied as contact forces in mechanics. So this is the contact forces when they come into contact with solid surfaces with solid. Now for example, if you are considering a rod being taken to stir milk, if you take milk in a tumbler and add little sugar and stir it with the help of a rod or stir it with the help of a spoon, then the spoon is solid and the glass surface is solid surface and the milk that is taken is liquid. So the force that comes into play which opposes the motion of solid surfaces, or in general the force that exists between solid and fluid, we call it as viscous force. So viscous force is another example of contact force. Whenever there is a contact between solid and liquid, milk can be very easily stirred. Even water can be very easily stirred with any other salt content with the help of a spoon. But compare it with any oil. Oil cannot be stirred so easily. Oil is little thicker compared to water or milk. So oil is more viscous than water. Oil is more viscous than milk. So like that, if you take honey, honey will be still more viscous than oil. So the force of opposition which comes into play whenever there is a solid in contact with a fluid, that is called as viscous force. And we can list viscous force as another contact force. So look here, the viscous force is the force that comes into play whenever a solid comes in contact with liquid. The force of opposition which comes into play fluid surfaces. In contact, we call it as viscous force. Even if you take different fluids, if they are immiscible fluids, when you try to mix them or when you try to move them, then the force of opposition which comes into play between the different layers of the liquids themselves, that is also called as viscous drag. That is also called as viscous force. Even you can write the force of opposition which comes into play between the solid surfaces and the liquid surfaces in contact, or fluid surfaces in contact. Fluid surfaces in contact which opposes to the motion. So I told you, if you take a glass filled with a liquid like milk, and if you try to stir it with spoon, when you are stirring this, you will find the movement of the liquid inside. When you take it out, the liquid doesn't stop itself immediately. Okay, it continues to move. So initially when you try to stir it, it takes certain time to set into motion. So the force of opposition that comes into play whenever there is a motion between the liquid surfaces and solid surfaces in contact, it is called as viscous force. Similarly, viscous force also exists between fluid layers themselves. Whenever the layers of fluid trying to move over one over the another, whenever there is a layers of fluid trying to move one over the another, then the force of opposition that comes into play, which opposes the relative motion of the layers of the liquids among themselves, it is also called as viscous force. Then one more thing also you have observed. When you take an object in a water, suppose this is water. If you take iron nail, the iron nail suddenly falls down and sinks. The iron nail sinks inside the glass tumbler filled with water. But if you take a wooden block, a small wooden block, it floats. So there we learn another contact force. It is called as buoyant force. So what is buoyant force? Buoyant force is another contact force which comes into play whenever solid is immersed in a fluid. So this buoyant force is the force or the thrust. It is upward thrust. Buoyant force is the force or upthrust exerted by the fluid. Fluid may be liquid or gas. The force or the upthrust exerted by a fluid may be liquid or gas on an solid. On a solid immersed in it. On a solid immersed in it. On a solid immersed in it. So this buoyant force, as you have learned as Archimedes principle, you have learned in 9th standard Archimedes principle. This buoyant force is equal to weight of volume of equivalent volume of fluid displaced by it. Displaced by the solid. So buoyant force is always acting upward. So this is the upthrust which we call as band force, which is also contact force, and the viscous force is also contact force. In the same way, air resistance. Air resistance is also a contact force whenever there is a vehicle or any object in motion in the air. So the opposition to the motion of the object by the air we call it as air resistance. So these are all common contact forces that we come across in mechanics. Similarly, if you consider an object being suspended to a thread or a rope, then there will be a stretch in the rope. Or if you have seen the spring when it is compressed, it will develop a restoring force. The moment you release it, the spring jumps off. Similarly, when the spring is extended, when the spring is stretched, the moment you release it, the spring compresses, the spring comes back to its initial shape. So this force of opposition, which is developed inside the extended spring or compressed spring, is called spring force, or it is a restoring force developed in the spring. This spring force is also a contact force which arises due to compression of the spring or extension of the spring. Similarly, the force that arises inside the stretched string, if you take a string and try suspend it with some 1 kg weight, then you will find stretch in the string. This stretch in the string is called tension in the string. So tension in the string and the restoring force in the spring are also the examples of the contact forces. Okay, these are two more forces which we learn them as some common forces in mechanics. Tension in the string. If you take a thread, when you take a thread, the thread will be loose. The moment you tie it with a load, say about 1 kg load or 2 kg load or 3 kg load, and connect it to a rigid support, you will find a stretch in the string. This stretch in the string is towards the rigid support, as well as this stretch will be towards the load that is applied. So the force that is acting along the length of the thread is called tension, and this tendency of the force is to bring back the shape of the string. So it is called as restoring force. Restoring force is the force which is having a tendency to bring back its initial shape. The initial shape of the thread is not this stretched one. So it is an opposing force which is developed inside the thread. So we can write as the restoring force which exists inside a stretched string. Stretched string acting along the length acting along the length is called tension. This tension also opposes the external weight. The weight is acting vertically downwards. The moment you take out this weight, then the string will be having looseness. It will not be that much of tightness. So we know the string instruments. Before the string instrument is played, the strings are stretched with the help of those screws. They will be stretched properly so that when we pluck the strings vibrate and produce the sound. So there is a tension, proper tension in the string. So tension is required to produce the sound. That is an example. So in all the musical instruments like this tabla membrane instrument, the membrane has to be also stretched properly before it is played. So there should be a tension in the membrane of the tabla surface, then only it will vibrate properly, it will have a proper restoring force, vibrate and produce the sound. So such a stretch in the string or stretch in the membrane is called as tension. So tension is a restoring force which is produced due to stretch in the string or stretch in the membrane of that particular membrane. So it is called tension. Similarly, spring. The spring, if you take initially the spring will be of this normal shape. When this spring is loaded, then there will be an extension. This is unloaded spring without any change in its shape. This is loaded spring. The loaded spring, the weight of the load acts vertically downwards, but the restoring force acts vertically upwards. So the restoring force that is developed in the stretched spring is called spring force. Similarly, when you compress the spring, see here, this is a spring which is compressed with the help of a load. If it is compressed, at any moment, the moment you release this, the spring extends and comes back to its initial shape. So the spring force is the force that is developed inside a compressed or extended spring. This is also a restoring force. So the restoring force which opposes the compression or extension of the spring. The tendency of this restoring force is to regain its initial shape, is called spring force. You can see here the spring force that is in this case is directly proportional to the load that is applied. More the load that is applied, more is the restoring force developed. So spring force is directly proportional to the stretch, you can say. It is directly proportional to the stretch or it is directly proportional to the compression. Directly proportional to the compression. So all these things we are going to learn in detail. So just write what is the meaning of restoring force. We have used this new term. In general, restoring force, the force which has tendency to regain the original shape or size. The force which has a tendency to regain the original size or shape is called restoring force. So many forces we are going to come across in mechanics. So out of these we are focusing on contact forces, as I said, normal reaction, then friction, then forces between the solids and fluids as viscous force, the force exerted on the solid immersed in the fluid, buoyant force, and then air resistance, then finally tension in the stretched string which is along the length of the string, then spring force due to compression of the spring or extension of the spring force. These are all contact forces which are commonly coming across in mechanics. So out of this, in this topic we are learning about friction. So friction comes into play whenever there are two surfaces, solid surfaces in actual physical contact. Whenever one surface tries to move over another surface, the force of opposition which comes into play parallel to the surfaces, parallel component of force about the surfaces which opposes the motion is called as friction. So at this juncture we will stop at this. Tomorrow onwards we will study what is friction and what are types of friction. Thank you. Have a nice day.